Hi students, this is lecture for week 12, and then it is for topic 10, and this is the first lecture. This is actually an introduction to the topic. I have shared the lecture notes for topic 10 with you in the WhatsApp group, and when I look at the notes, and I see that the things that are covered in the notes are quite advanced. So I think I want to share with you an introduction to the topic 10 first. This topic 10 is a topic for transfer pricing. So I think you have to know the basic first, and then after this lecture I will share another video for the things related to the lecture notes that I have shared with you in the WhatsApp group. Okay, let's see what are the things that you can see here. Transfer pricing. So the first thing that you have you can see here is the definition of transfer pricing or transfer price. See here in the first yellow box in this slide, a transfer price is the price charged when one segment of a company provides goods or services to another segment of the company. Okay, the thing is like this. You have seen before that sometimes a company or a business has several segments. For example, I want to make it a very simple example. For example, Panasonic. Panasonic is a company. Within Panasonic, there are many segments. Segment for television, segment for refrigerator, segment for washing machine, segment for air condition, and as far as I know, for air condition segment, there are two smaller segments under the air condition segments. First, at least two. Under the air condition segment of Panasonic, there is a segment, a sub-segment or a small segment called Panasonic air condition, and also there is another sub-segment or small segment called Panasonic compressor. Compressor is one component of the air condition. So the thing that happen, transfer price is something like this. Transfer price is when a segment of a business sell its product or service to another segment within that business. So if we use the Panasonic example, under the air condition segment of Panasonic, there is, like I said earlier, there is one segment for air condition and another segment for compressor, air condition compressor. So transfer price is something like this. Transfer price is the price when the compressor segment sell its product or output to the air condition segment of Panasonic. So I hope you can this is the first thing that you have to understand. Transfer price is the price for a product or a service transferred from one segment in a business to another segment within the same business. Okay, so see the second yellow box there. The fundamental objective of setting transfer prices is to motivate managers to act in the best interest of the overall company or business. So, like I said earlier in the previous lecture, every segment has its own manager. That manager is responsible for the segment. So the performance of the segment is also can be seen as the performance of the manager. So if you allow this manager to make decision, they want to make decision that can make their segment get the highest profit as they can, because when their segment shows highest profit, people will say that the performance of the manager of that segment is good. So the thing is, when for transfer pricing, if the manager wants to maximize the profit of its segment, then problem can happen. Because when one segment want to sell its product or service to another segment within the same company, the selling department or the selling segment want to charge the maximum, want to to set the highest price, but the segment that that buy the product or service want or asking for the lowest price. This thing can happen. So there can be a conflict between the selling segment manager and the buying segment manager. Each manager has different different wants and need. So the main thing that is, or the most important thing for the context of transfer pricing is actually everybody involved in the setting of the transfer price must remember that the transfer price must be for the best interest of the overall company, not the best interest of one segment, but must be set for the best interest of the whole company or the whole business. So the manager cannot be selfish. The selling manager and purchasing manager, the selling manager and buying manager cannot be selfish, but they have to think for the best interest of the overall company, the whole company, not for their own segment only. Okay, these 2 points are very important. Okay, so now you know what is transfer price and what is the transfer pricing process. Okay, so there are 3 primary methods or approaches that can be used to set the transfer price. First, negotiation. You can see in the yellow box there. The first method is called negotiation method. And then the second method is called cost method. And the third method is called market price method. Okay, so let's see each method separately. Okay, now we look at the negotiation method. Negotiation method. This is a method that can be used to set the transfer price. When a segment within a business want to sell its product or service to another segment, and then this method can be used. It is called negotiation method. So negotiation methods means the transfer price is set by negotiation between the selling segment and the buying segment. So like say our example. Our example is compressor segment in in Panasonic company want to sell its output to air condition segment, also within the Panasonic company. So if these two segments use the negotiation method, it means that the manager of the compressor segment will negotiate with the manager of air condition segment, and then they will negotiate until they agreed with a specific price. Okay, so if you see this slide, you can see that there are several advantages of negotiation method. The first one is they preserve the autonomy of the divisions, which is consistent with the spirit of decentralization. And the second advantage is the managers negotiating the transfer price are likely to have much better information about the potential costs and benefits of the transfer than others in the company. So these are the two advantages of negotiation method. And negotiation, when there is a negotiation between the selling segment and the buying segment, sometimes both parties can agree with a price. Sometimes both parties cannot agree. So sometimes the negotiation is successful, sometimes it does not. So I don't want to discuss the detail, but there are several sample scenarios here. Okay, if you use the negotiation method, there are several formula that you can use, and you can see in what range of transfer price the negotiation can be success. Beyond that range, the negotiation will fail. So just remember, negotiation method means the manager from the selling department will negotiate with the manager from the buying department to set the specific price for the transfer of goods or services. Okay, if you have time, you read this sample scenario. Okay, this is like repeating the point that you have seen in the first slide or second slide. First slide, I think second slide. So it is said here, the good thing is the good transfer price is the price that will benefit the company as a whole, not benefit the one single segment within the company. So and then what else? So okay, another one is negotiation method is good. You have seen there are two main advantages of using negotiation method, but another there is also disadvantage of negotiation method. The disadvantage is if the manager involved are not selfish or thinking about their segment only, then the negotiation can fail. That is the main disadvantage. Okay, so let's see. This is the second method. The second method is the transfer at the cost. Transfer at the cost means the selling department has to transfer its product or service to the buying department at the cost. This is easy because there is no need to negotiate. The company just can make a policy says if a segment within the business need to transfer product or service to another segment, then the transfer price is set at cost. So that's it. No negotiation, no nothing. But there is some disadvantages if this method is used in a company or in a business. You can see in the second yellow box there. The first disadvantage is using full cost as a transfer price can lead to suboptimization. Suboptimization means the selling department has no motivation to reduce cost, because they know at any cost they produce, they can sell the output or product or service to another segment at cost, so that it is like a guaranteed price. The buying department will pay at whatever cost, so there is no motivation to reduce cost. Number two, the selling division will never show a profit on any internal transfer. That is the second disadvantage. When the transfer price is set at cost, the selling division will not make any profit. That's not good because it will affect the performance of the selling segment and also of the selling segment's manager. Number three, cost-based transfer prices do not provide incentive to control cost. That's I think that is very similar to the point number one. Suboptimization means there is no the manager has no need to increase or improve the efficiency. So number three is same. There is no motivation to or incentive to control cost, to reduce cost. Okay, this is the second method. Okay, this is the third method. The third method that can be used to set transfer price when a segment within a business sell or transfer its product or services to another segment. So transfer at market price. So see the orange box, the first orange box. A market price, that is the price charged for an item on the open market, is often regarded as the best approach to transfer pricing problem. A market price approach works best when the product or service is sold in its present form to outside customers and the selling division has no idle capacity. Okay, and then number two, market price approach does not work well with the selling division that has idle capacity. So this is an issue of full capacity and idle capacity. If the selling division is operating at full capacity, it means that if the department has to sell or transfer its product to another segment within the business or within the company, then the selling department has to sacrifice its quantity of sales to the open market. So when the selling department has to sacrifice the quantity of sales in the open market, then there is we call it opportunity cost. The segment has to transfer product or services to another segment within the company. At the same time, the selling department has to sacrifice the quantity of product that they sell in the open market. So in that situation, the market price approach is relevant or is suitable, because they can charge, the selling department can charge the transfer price at the market rate. But if the selling department has idle capacity, then the selling department can sell its product or service to another segment within the business at a lower price, because they still idle capacity. They can produce the service or product without increasing the fixed cost. It is still there are still idle capacity. So let's see. Okay, this is related to, so when you look at this transfer price topic, you can see that this transfer price issue or matter can happen only if a business has applied the principle of decentralization. Within the business, there are many segments, and then each segment has its own manager. So this is the a principle of decentralization. So transfer price matter can only happen in this kind of business. If the business is using or applies centralized principle, then there is no issue of transfer pricing. Okay, this is like the end of the introduction to this topic 10, transfer pricing. This is the basic. So I just want to summarize everything. So the first thing that you have seen in this summary, in this introduction that I did now, is the first thing is you have seen the definition of transfer price. Okay, what is transfer price? What is the transfer price? Transfer price is the price set for product or services transferred from one segment in the business to another segment in the same business. That is the definition of transfer price. Transfer price is not the price that the business sell its product to the open market, to the customer in the outside the business. No, transfer price means the price that the price for product or services when one segment in the business transfer its product or service to another segment in the same business. Okay, that is the very important one. The second point that you have seen is when one segment in a business transfer its product or services to another segment in the business, the thing that should happen is managers in the selling segment and managers in the buying segment has to think about the benefit or the interest of the whole business, not to think about the benefit or interest of their own segment only. They have to think about the interest of the whole company, the whole business. Okay, that is the second point that is important. The third point that I have explained in this lecture is there are at least 3 methods that can be used to set the transfer price. The first method is called negotiation method. Okay, negotiation methods means the transfer price is determined by negotiation between the manager from the selling segment with the manager of the buying segment. Sometimes the negotiation is successful, sometimes the negotiation can fail. Okay, the second method is called the cost method. This method is like this. The transfer price is set at the cost of the product or services transferred from the selling department to the buying department. So this is like no negotiation. At any cost, the product or services can be transferred from the selling department to the buying department or segment. So there are several disadvantages. The main disadvantage of cost method is the selling department has no motivation to increase efficiency and to minimize cost, because they know at any cost they produce, they always can transfer or the product or service to another segment within the business. Okay, and the last one is the third method that can be used to set the transfer price is to set the transfer price at the market price. Maybe this method is good. Particularly, this method is good particularly when the selling segment is operating at full capacity. So if the selling segment is operating at full capacity, the buying department has to purchase the service or product at the market price, because at any time the selling department can sell the same product or service to the open market at the market price. Okay, these three things. So this is the introduction lecture for topic 10. Do not forget to write your name and matric number in the comment section. That is your attendance for this lecture. Thank you very much.